Hello and welcome to the drivers' press conference ahead of this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, Chaz Hogan, Australian journalist. Now listen here, mate. Our beloved Denny Rick was winning last race before you ploughed into the back of him like a horny dingo during mating season. What do you have to say for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, I barely touched him, so I think we were both a little bit unlucky on that one. But, Daniel and I have spoken about it, and we're all... Why is he the beloved driver? I'm Australian as well. This is outrageous. No respect. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome back to Aussie Villain Racing. It's Season 3, it's Round 8 today. We hit the halfway point of the season. Would you believe this is Episode 50 of Aussie Villain Racing? Where has the time gone? And today, as I say, did I say it's a Hungarian Grand Prix? Anyway, it's a Hungarian Grand Prix, and it's a track. Last season we got 4th, wasn't it? A very, very good result for us, but it was heavily impacted by the safety car, and we have a lot of time between the Austrian race and this Hungarian race. A lot of time for me to think about what I did. Poor Denny Ricciardo. But yeah, I mean, we cost ourselves a race win, didn't we? We are going to comfortably have enough time just to do all these events, so we don't really need to look what they are. We'll just go and do them all. Yeah, it was silly, wasn't it? Basically, I got a little bit excited. We'll give ourselves some time off before the race. Now, let's go and have a look. More importantly, what we can do with facilities. We have 17 million in the bank. We need 10 million for Gasly. So what do? We've already got aerodynamics up to spec 3. So I'd say the next thing we probably want to do is the chassis department, isn't it? So that's going to be 8 million. We'll be able to make up the difference in the cash for by the next race. So that's absolutely fine. So we'll do that, and yeah, that's fine. R&D, now we know that we have potentially the best car. Looks like McLaren and Mercedes have taken a step forward, but we have a little bit in the pipeline to come through, which is going to put us at least equal, if not just ahead of them. Now, we have 3,000 R&D points. Chassis department morale is low. Why is that low? Anyway, we'll fix that, I'm sure. What can we do with these points? Now, we do have a little bit, looks like we can do here. Do we? Turning vanes should be done, and we have a diffuser redesigned layout, and that's going to be a downforce advantage. We will have it just in time for Hungary, so this could be huge. More downforce for Hungary and Zandvoort, and that's almost our car maxed out there. Look at that. So unless there's going to be a rule change, we are going to be in a really strong position. There's nothing we can do on the chassis department side of things. Powertrain, I think again we've kind of maxed everything out for now, haven't we, that we can do. Stuff will come through, I'm sure, but not as of yet. And we've got a general wear thing from Mercedes, so that's good. We have 1,300 points we can spend. We can spend that on... We can't get that. We can get a turbo reliability testing. It's a major upgrade, so let's go and do that. Again, we'll have that in time, and we might even have the most reliable car at that point. Is there a minor upgrade we can get? No. So we are getting to the point where the car is fantastic. Look at the progress update. Yeah, so it looks as though McLaren have gone back ahead of us in Austria. Though we saw, didn't we? I mean, I was comfortably catching Ricciardo when he was in the lead. If I'd just been a little bit more patient, we would have been fine. The actual car itself all looks good wear-wise. The gearbox looks absolutely fine. We don't need to worry about the tyre allocation. The corporate side of things, again, everything there is as it was. Driver perks. Gasly's focus is maybe the issue, isn't it? 28 days till his contract is up for renewal, so we will just need to not spend anything else now to make sure. With the shortened calendar, it's just a little bit different, isn't it? I've just got to be a little bit careful on what I'm doing with that, to make sure we do have enough. The finances, we've just spent some money on the facility upgrades, but that's all fine. The finance history, we've come down off a mountain peak, but again, absolutely fine. Driver standings, I honestly think, and we got nicked for the last point, didn't we? Of fastest lap. Norris took it off us on the last lap. We're 2 points behind Gasly, we're 7th. We've got to be looking at Perez and Norris, don't we, to try and get up with them. There are the season results. 8th it was for us last race, and that was all a little bit disappointing, wasn't it? Trophies. Now, last season in Hungary, as I say, sort of second column furthest to the left, we got 4th. which was heavily safety car impacted, but it was nonetheless one of our better, well, was our best result before this season. And our first season, we were 20th, so we did struggle. The downforce we should have on the car makes me think we should be decent around there, but we won't know until we actually get there. And I'm not convinced it's the sort of track that suits my driving. I think I'm better on the more flowing tracks, but yeah, anyway, it is what it is. We've got a lot to skip ahead through here, so let's get simming. We've got the power department focus, the G-force training for Gasly, some weekly income and running costs. That sports demonstration thing has happened. The reliability testing has come through. Sponsorship. You can see what it says up there. So far, so good in terms of nothing actually going wrong. We've had the chassis. Oh, restart from R&D hub. Let's stop.
I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but
now,
some of them fail quality control.
Oh, was that the
front? Tell the team what
was that the vane?
The R&D screen.
No, it wasn't the vane, was it? It might be the vanes. Oh, it was. All right. We should have enough R&D points. We do. It's going to come through now after. It's coming through after Hungary. Oh, can we make them work overtime? That is a bit of a kick in the balls, isn't it?
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process.
All right.
We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
So the diffuser... No, that might be the reliability stuff. We've got a personnel issue.
The personnel department needs some assistance.
Alright, so this is to do with replacing gym equipment to something sort of looks like more state-of-the-art on an exclusive basis. Pierre Gasly's focus is going to improve. It's going to cost us 60 grand. 50 grand even. I don't even need to think about that. That's an easy one.
I think you made the right call.
So, absolutely fine. Let's keep going here. It's the weekend of the Hungarian Grand Prix. We've got a high cash balance. You just told me we had a low cash balance, but anyway, it's fine. Let's go to Hungary. Alright, so we've got the weekend preview. We can see a track map there if you're interested. The weather forecast is going to be dry, it looks like. That's messages we've already got, isn't it? So that's absolutely fine. As ever, I'm going to do some free practice, see exactly where we rate in the standings here, and I'll see you for qualifying. Alright, the good news is that Gasly is quick. Me, not so much. Gasly's been sort of, I think he topped the last session. He was right up there in FP2 as well. I'm sort of a second behind him, to be honest, and outside the top 10. So, I don't have any great hopes for qualifying for me, but Gasly, this might be his weekend. Let's get to Q1. Alright, here we go. I'm going to try the mediums. A, to give me a bit of a banker lap, but B, so I have a reference for the race. And then, if we really nail it, you never know. It might be good enough to get us out of the session, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that necessarily. We are really quick in the first sector. The second sector, that's where it's killing me. I'm a second off Gasly just in the second sector, which starts somewhere here, and then kind of continues on through the twisty section. I did make a setup change in FP3. Sorry, getting my Qs and my FPs mixed up here, aren't I? Just trying to get a little bit more speed in the car through the middle sector. But unfortunately at that point I had worn tyres, so I couldn't really get a decent gauge of how well it was working. But certainly it felt like I could go a bit quicker than I had been previously. So I think the issue I had was just getting the turn in and change of direction. So we stiffened the front anti-roll bar, and that seemed to help that. The gas early. What have we done here? Is it going to be enough? A 16.5. I tell you what, that's not bad compared to my free practice anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but you can see we're in and around the Williams and Giovinazzi and the Aston Martin, so we are going to have to go again, it looks like. But, well, it's a nice banker, isn't it? Alright, so here we go on the softs. The idea was nice, I think, on the mediums, but obviously it didn't quite work out for us. A little bit too much inside curve there, perhaps. Certainly not a great start to the lap, is it, considering we're on the better tyre. This should be where we start to see the benefit as sort of the twists and the turns keep coming at us. We'll probably need about half a second, I'd say. Missed that apex a little bit there. By a little bit, I mean I was almost in the same postcode as it. 4/10 up though. trying not to get greedy through there. You can see we're second up. This is definitely the part of the track where the tyres make the difference. And that's the part of the track where I had been losing time. We're a long way up. We can just finish this off now. We should be absolutely fine. Didn't really take that brilliantly, truth be told, but nice and early on the gas. DRS open, and we've done ourselves a 15-0. Wow. So it's kind of as you were. It's Gasly first. It's Aussie Villain 12th. That's very familiar to free practice. But I mean, Gasly almost half a second over the field. So the car is obviously good. It's just me, as I say, I'm a second off him, and I can't get anywhere near him. But we'll see how we go here. Can we get into Q2? Sorry, can we get out of Q2? That's going to be the big question, isn't it? I'm not convinced we can. All right, here we go. First run in Q2. We're going to have at least 2 cracks at this on fresh tyres. I suspect we'll need both of those, and then probably still miss out. But we can only do our best, can't we? A little bit too much speed in the entrance there. Alright, now this is one of the corners I need to nail, isn't it? That was better. Oh, it's a real fine line trying to carry the speed through there, but not too much speed to lose your momentum. That might be okay. Back, gas, here we go. DRS, what have we done? It felt okay. It's a 14.9. That is my best lap yet. Okay, so as things stand, we are about 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second ahead of Sainz. Let's see if we can go a little bit faster. Yeah, good first sector, downhill from there, wasn't it? Let's hope we've done enough already. Well, there we go. We did sneak into the top 10. That's almost a bad thing. I would have rathered 11th, if I'm honest, and got a fresh set of tyres. So, we'll go again. We've got one set that we know we're going to get, and anything more than 10th is a bonus, isn't it? Alright, so here we go. Now, if we can do the first sector we did last time and hold sort of the rest of the lap, we might be able to pick Perez here, you know, but let's see what happens. A little bit later on the brakes into turn 1. I feel like I was maybe giving myself a little bit too much margin there. Alright, now for the tricky bit. So far so good, I'd say here. But deep. And that's going to cost us a lot of time. Such a shame. The rest of the lap, I've got to say, has felt very, very decent. What have we done? 14.7. Oh, it could have been really, really good. So, Bottas is on pole. I picked the wrong rifle there, didn't I? To be honest, if I hadn't gone deep into that, maybe 2 or 3 tenths, we would have beaten Yuki Tsunoda. But it's only cost us 1 place on the grid in the end, so that's not too bad. Honestly, if I score points here, I'll be pleased. Gasly, though. Come on, Pierre. Let's see if he can get a second win for the team this season.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Ricciardo, Lando Norris and Perez, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Oldtimer and Charles Leclerc, Sainz, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Russell, Giovinazzi, Fernando Alonso, Christian Lundgaard, and Nicholas Latifi, Joe, Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, and Nikita Mazepin. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Alright, so we're going to have limited strategy options, aren't we? And the soft tyre does burn up around here. So lap 5 is what Jeff is saying. I mean, I think that's probably all we can do, really, isn't it? We'll take a little bit of petrol out. And yeah, if I can if I can bring home some points, if I can finish where I start or higher up, so 9th or higher, I'll be happy. Pierre, what can he do? Alright, here we go, ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're in a decent position, obviously not as good as Pierre. Let's see what sort of start we get on the soft tyres. Decent compared to those around us. Sonoda's got a bit of a belter, hasn't he? He's flying off down the inside there. Now we want to try and stay to the outside if we can and sort of roll around any trouble on the inside. That plan has worked relatively well. Briefly back to 10th, but we stay where we started. We've got another car on our outside there. We look up the inside of Perez, but there's not really a move there. It is strollers all over the back of us. But we've just about seen that threat off as we head up the hill for the first time. See what we can. We get anywhere near the apex? Not really. Oh, Stroll on the outside. Off Stroll. We just about see him off and open the door for Leclerc to follow us through as well. Through the chicane for the first time. Love this camera angle as we flash through. And well, let's see if we can close up now on Perez behind through the twisty section here. I mean, it should be a part of the track that suits our car, the aerodynamics of the car, but as I said in qualifying, it seems to be the sector of the lap where I lose all my time, so I'm not quite sure what the problem is through there. But anyway, as we go round the first of the 2 hairpins to end the lap, and there's no DRS, of course. You can see I try to take a bit of a wider entrance to straighten the exit out, give us a bit of a better run onto the straight. Has it worked? We're on the battery. We're closing, we look to the inside of Perez, a little bit later on the brakes, and he's still there on our outside. He is going to have the inside for the next corner. We get better traction, and that is us up in the P8, which is very, very nice indeed, and Tsunoda is now the one in front of us. Tsunoda is the one that I was most disappointed at qualifying this, but like I say, wasn't the perfect qualifying session, so to still be in the top 10 is not bad. Again, we make a mistake through that fast turn. Was it turn 4? I think it would be. Another great angle through the chicane. And we've got Perez absolutely crawling all over our gearbox. Now, if this is again aerodynamic part of the track, he will hopefully drop off, A, from the wash of our car, but B, because it is the strength of our car, although Red Bull's not too bad aerodynamically either, are they? We have pulled out a little bit of a gap. Now, of course, DRS will open this lap, but we won't be able to use it this lap, if that makes sense, because that's a detection point just there somewhere. And, of course, we won't be able to trigger that until next lap. So we come onto the straight. There's a little bit of a gap ahead of Tsunoda, which is... I mean, to be honest, I take P7 now. We've got Gasly up there second, which is good, though he is a second back of Bottas. As we come through, and I mean it's still a relatively compact pack, isn't it? Even behind us, so you wouldn't say anybody's holding anybody else up. Maybe Verstappen is the oh no, Tsunoda is a bit of a gap in front of Tsunoda as well. But no one sort of crawling over the back of us this lap, which is good. You can see the tyre wear there. It is brutal on tyres, this track. So we've just got to try and hang on to them for as long as we can, but it's so, I mean, it's twisty as well. It's sort of back and forth. It's not like one side of the car wears out particularly quicker than the other. So I mean, at least it wears evenly, I suppose, but some tracks like Bahrain, where it's also tough on tyres, but predominantly sort of turning one way. When you do have a turn the other way, you can really lean on the tyres, the outside tyres, because they're not doing much work. Whereas this track, I mean, you can see the outside tyres there, the left side, are wearing quicker. but it's not that much different. Now we've got a good run on Yuki here. He blocks to the inside. We'll go to the outside, late on the brakes. Now he's still hanging around the inside, but if we can get a good exit, we've got DRS this time as well. And we should have the inside to turn 2, and that should, ooh, a little bit too deep. He's still there, is old Yuki. And again, we've got the inside, and that will complete the move. As we can see there, it looks as though Perez is having a look at him as well now. That's us up into P7. Next man up the road is Hamilton. He is 2 seconds away, which means we're not going to have DRS. I think the main goal for the rest of this lap is going to try and get a bit of a gap to Tsunoda. Even if it's not enough to break DRS, just needs to be enough that his DRS isn't going to be effective enough to get it getting past us. But he's got his own problems there with Perez, it looks like. And we have opened up a little bit of a gap, half a second or so. Ooh, overshoot the corner there, running wide out to the AstroTurf. And that has undone all the good work of earlier in the lap. And there is a train developing, isn't there? Now, hopefully that's a Tsunoda train, not a Villain train, but it could be either way right now. As, again, I take my line to get the best exit possible down the straight, and we've done enough there. So we'll skip ahead now to lap 5. This is just basically at the end of that lap as we come into the pits. We are the first man in, so that is what it is.
Well, that was a decent start. Very happy with that. Looks like we're first in. We were coming in lap 5, weren't we? I'm sure it said the window was open. Yeah, so we'll get on some fresh tyres. I don't know if we can get an undercut. We might be a little bit too far back of the cars in front. But hopefully we'll be able to prevent an undercut anyway, or an overcut. A little bit of free air at the back as well.
So we come out stone motherless, but as I said there, a little bit of free air, and everybody up the front on soft tyres will be coming in relatively soon. And we skip ahead now to lap 10. So all the pit stops have now taken place. You can see we're P7, but Gasly is politely holding up a train of cars for us, and we have caught on these medium tyres the back of that group in front that we were previously 2 or so seconds back from. So the fact that we're catching them is good. Pierre's playing the team role to perfection here as well. And unfortunately, well, Pierre's not leading, he's second, but it was difficult for me to tell. You can see we've done a purple first sector there.
Gasly winning and holding up a train.
Yeah, he is actually in second. Bottas is well and truly up the road, but I was briefly, so I was trying to count how many cars were there and then subtract that from my position. It was very painful. I'm surprised I didn't crash actually trying to do that. But you can see Gasly doing a wonderful job holding up this group of cars. And with, was it 8 laps to go at the end of this one? I mean, a podium's not completely out of the question if Gasly can keep holding everybody up for us. But let's see what sort of a run we get. Of course, the problem around Hungary is very much overtaking, and you can see there, despite having DRS, of course Hamilton has DRS as well. We're just, we're very, very late on the brakes, comparatively speaking, and, well, it wasn't the greatest exit. So there's no real chance there of a second stab with the DRS into turn 2. But put that in the memory bank. We can brake a little bit later than what certainly Hamilton can in front of us. But some of that, of course, may be just down to the fact that there's a train of cars and you don't want to run into the back of the car in front. You'd look like an idiot if you did that, wouldn't you? Still can't believe it happened. I don't know what... I mean, it's not as bad as running up the back of someone behind the safety car, I suppose. But I've certainly not covered myself in glory between Monaco and Austria, have I? But we can see, despite the fact we dropped back, we are, again, able to catch relatively quickly. I think the sort of between lap... When did we leave off? Lap 5 and lap 6 and lap 10. We were catching them at about... I mean, the undercut worked for about a second, and then we were catching them in a couple of tenths to get to this point. See what we can do this time again, trying to get the straighter line exit, but Hamilton just a little bit too quick for us on this particular occasion. And are we too far back again? Yes, we are. I was kind of a little bit more prepared for it that lap and wasn't looking for a dive bomb. If we can stay closer through the rest of the lap, and then the issue is going to be timing the run onto the straight, isn't it? To try and make sure that I'm catching them into that last corner at just the right time so that I can kind of take the line I want into the last corner, carry as much speed as possible. Because you can see, I mean, our mid-corner speed, even through there, is quite good. It's then, you know, maybe carrying a little bit too much speed. The aero wash, meaning I don't have the front downforce, and they are quicker than us off the corner. But, I mean, they're always going to be at least a car length on the, on the gas earlier than we are, just because they're in front of us. So, just got to try and stay as close as we can through here. This is definitely the closest we've been, isn't it? We have to come around and start lap 13, which I think will mean, what, it's a 5 or 6 lap? I can never remember, because you've got to do the 18th lap, don't you? So here we go. Can we get a good exit off the corner? We've got right to the inside, and this is as close as we've been.
Oh, I got you this time, Lewis.
I'm certainly confident. He goes to the inside, we go to the outside, late on the brakes. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyone get Austria flashbacks? Hamilton is still there, but we saw with the Sonoda move, little flash there as I hit the pause button instead of the battery button. I do that a lot, but I wanted to make sure we stay on board. And you can see there we've forced Hamilton out wide, and he's dropped back quite a bit. Now, I didn't feel any contact, but I am wondering a little bit if maybe there was some. But I suppose time will tell. I mean, his front wing looked okay, didn't it? But anyway, it's not our problem. We didn't get a warning, so there's obviously not much in it, if anything. And we can sort of focus in now on Daniel Ricciardo, who would be P5. I mean, P6, I think, for this track. I'm quite pleased with that. Not safety car helped either. I would be quite pleased if we could come in. But the fact that there's still a train of cars there, it does make me wonder a little bit what's wrong with Gasly's setup, or car in general. I wonder if he's done a little bit of damage to the floor or something earlier on in the race. But I think I might just come back a little bit to what I was saying, I think it was during the Austrian race, where I feel like maybe the way that I set the cars up now as I get more used to doing it, I'm not typically as quick as Gasly in qualifying, but I feel like our race pace is much better. And you can see behind us that Hamilton did come into the pits as well, so he obviously did damage his front wing as we lunged up the inside there, but like I say, his problem, not mine. But you can see that, we're definitely, that we're not the only car being held up by Gasly, but we are definitely being held up by Gasly. I think there's probably all those cars in front of us would drive away from him if we could get past. I think what's maybe saving Pierre is the fact that our car is quite good aerodynamically, and he's probably good enough off that last corner to prevent anybody from getting the run on him. But let's see if we can pull the move here. Oh, Jesus. Pull the move here on Ricciardo that we pulled on Hamilton. Again, just trying to stay out of the...
Back him up, yeah, back him up.
He's doing a good job for the team, isn't he? I'm trying to sort of, stay out of the aero wash, but also trying to... I didn't get the greatest exit there, it didn't look like, did it? But also just trying to not drive behind the car in front so I don't accidentally drive up the back of him. We jumped to the inside, but there's never really a move on there. We're just a little bit too far back. And it's going to be another lap stuck behind Ricciardo. And we are just starting to run out of laps here now, aren't we? Lap 15 of 18. But the good news is that, nobody else is looking like they're going to get past Pierre. We're right behind Ricciardo. Good run as well, but we back out of that one.
Look, Ricciardo, maturity, I backed out of it.
Shows they did learn a lesson. The only real place to overtake here is down the main straight, isn't it? There's not... Anywhere else is going to be a little bit, or into turn 2. But anywhere else is going to be a little bit of a lunge that has some risk. And like I said, 6th here for me is absolutely fine. Gasly up there in 2nd. It's going to be big points for the team. So that's that's a good day out, really, isn't it? As we come around to the end of the lap once again. Now, can we get a better run onto the straight this time? Pull up behind Ricciardo if we can get gas on early. Where's the battery power? There it is. We're right behind him. This is our best chance yet.
Don't fight the inevitable, Danny.
We pull to the outside. Late on the brakes. Ricciardo, is he still there? I'm sure he is somewhere. The AstroTurf wouldn't have helped us getting on the gas. He's going to have DRS off the back of Verstappen. We lunge it in again, like we did with Hamilton. Just make sure that he doesn't have a way to come back at us. And that's P5. And Verstappen is next on our list of victims. So very, very good second stint on the mediums for us. Remember back in the day, like early days, when I got onto the mediums and I just couldn't drive a car. We're a little bit deep in the chicane there. That's let Verstappen get away from us. So we're not going to be overtaking Max this lap. And that's just going to leave the last lap then, isn't it? Because we'll come on to lap 17. We're not going to get in that lap. So, yeah, going deep into that chicane may have cost us a chance of fourth. And, well, I'd say possibly third, but I think the nature of this track, you're never really going to overtake more than one car a lap, are you? What we really need is for Verstappen to have a lunge at Norris, take each other out or run wide or something to get us back involved here. But second last lap, and Verstappen is, well, I don't want to say gone, but we're certainly not catching back up as quickly as we have done in the past. Maybe Pierre was just saving his tyres. So we'll skip ahead now to the last lap. You can see there we closed up on Verstappen through the next lap and a half. It's going to be a lunge if it's anything here. The yellow flag there is going to hurt. I think that was Latifi retiring. Oh, I tell you what, my initial reaction was disappointed that I've cost myself a chance at getting fourth, but could have been that.
Tell you what, I'll take fifth. Really enjoyed that.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Yeah, look, I thought Pierre did a wonderful job for the team today. You know, did his very best to hold everybody up to get a double podium. Unfortunately for me, just wasn't quite able to do it. But yeah, Pierre did a wonderful job, and more big points for the team. Pretty happy with this weekend. Well, I tell you what, that was not too bad, was it? Fifth for us, second for Gasly. Excellent race for the team. And yeah, considering how much of a struggle it was for me, I really enjoyed that race. It sort of all came together. I think that the setup tweak I made at the end of free practice 3, it helped, to be honest, massively. My fastest lap was only a little bit off of Gasly's, which is good. I'm not quite sure if Gasly had an issue and that's why he was holding everybody up. But a comfortable win for Bottas. I picked the wrong rival there, didn't I? Let's go and have a quick look at the state. I don't know what happened to Hamilton. I'm assuming when I because I outbroke myself a little bit into turn 2. I'm assuming we must have front to back contact or something. But yeah, I don't at this point don't know what happened there. But it was a bit strange anyway. It's not a lot nicer than Danny Rick, wasn't I? We can see there we have overtaken Ricciardo though, so we have moved up to no, we've overtaken Hamilton. We were equal on points with Ricciardo. 54 points off the top of the championship now. A few points back of Gasly as well. The Constructors, that was a useful race for us, wasn't it? Pulled us a little bit further away from Ferrari. 80 points now. And not that far off McLaren in front of us either. And with arguably the best car on the grid. It's yeah, shaping up okay for AVR this season, isn't it? So there we go. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. And, of course, subscribe if you are new. We'll be back next time. It is the Dutch Grand Prix. I've loved this rivalry. Bottas, you're supposed to be rubbish, man. What happened to you? Yeah, so if you enjoyed a thumbs up, so if you're new, Dutch Grand Prix is next. And, well, last season, of course, we were hundredths of a second, weren't we, of claiming a point. I'm hoping well, the front vane, the downforce thing should be through. That will obviously help. And, well, the form Gasly's in. I mean, we go into every race weekend now, I think, hoping, if not believing, that if not myself, then Gasly can go and win every race. So, it's exciting times at AVR. I'll see you next time at Zandvoort. Take care.